Well, the trade deal is welcome news at the World Cheese Awards, which are underway this week in Switzerland. The event is a celebration of culture, tourism, and, of course, cheese making. More than 5,200 cheeses from 46 countries were entered into this year's competition. And after a thorough judging process, the top prize went to an aged Gruyère made by a small dairy in Western Switzerland. Well, the World Cheese Awards is organised by the Guild of Fine Food, and its managing director, John Farrand, joins us from this year's capital of cheese, Bern in Switzerland. Great to have you with us.
Great to be here.
I just want to get your reaction first to this news that we were just discussing. Duties between Switzerland and the US dropping from a whopping 39% to 15% as the head of the World Cheese Awards. How significant is this deal for Swiss cheese exporters?
Well, I think they'll be hugely pleased. I'm sure they're chuffed about that. These tariffs have stifled trade, and they've caused quite a lot of caution, not just in Switzerland, to be honest with you, but around the world, which I think has led to a lot of people in the cheese industry to just not trade with each other. Business has slowed down. International relations have slowed down between the smaller and major cheese makers and wholesalers and retailers across the world. So, yeah, I mean, it's good news, but we're only back to where we were a few months or years ago.
Yeah, exactly. As a cheese lover, I would have loved to have been a judge or to be a judge at your cheese awards. This is the largest cheese awards in the world, 5,244 entries from some 46 countries. I mean, just, John, what does that scale tell you about the fact that this is a record-breaking, cheese event, right? Just take us through what happened this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to break records, and it's good to have that number of entries. But perhaps what I think is more important, perhaps going back to your earlier point about international trade, is that we've got huge diversity in that room, the judging room. If you can imagine this huge arena of cheese, the scale of it actually takes your breath away, and rather than the smell, which is the thing that always people ask me. But there is just so much diversity in the room amongst our panel. As you said, the judges come from over 40 countries, and those cheeses, those 5,244 cheeses that come from 46 countries, as you say. And I like the diversity in that. I like that the world comes together in this year in Bern in Switzerland, and as you said, the capital of cheese. And there's a huge family around cheese, especially at our end of cheese, and a lot of business is done. And that, to me, I think is a good thing. World Cheese Awards does its thing for international diplomacy despite the tariff chat.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was a local cheesemaker who took out this year's top prize. What made that particular cheese stand out? And is it true that perception around nations who host these awards are more likely to potentially have a winner, given that they don't need to transport their cheese long distances?
There's something in that. I mean, just to give you some context, that those cheeses were assessed over 110 different tables and teams, and then each marked for bronze, silver, gold, or no award, giving some feedback to our cheesemakers, but through those judges. We asked them to choose a super gold from each table, so we ended up with 107 super golds. Some of the tables didn't award one. They were then judged again by a different panel of 14 experts, and then we left us with 14 cheeses, and then they were assessed again in front of a live audience and on World Cheese Awards TV. So, yeah, there's a layer process there, but you're right. Only in the last 3 or 4 years, actually, we've found that the host country seems to win through the world champion cheese, and it's been from the host country. That could be because of travel. That could be because our judges are perhaps immersed in the terroir of that nation, and therefore somehow there's a sense of place. And sometimes that, I think, can affect how you assess things. But I think it's important to mention, for its first 30 years, that didn't tend to happen. It's only a recent vibe.
John Farrand, great to have you with us. I wish I could sample some of those cheeses right now. I'll have to get some later tonight. Appreciate your time, John.
Thank you.